Okay, some examples of fruit might be blueberries, oranges, apples, and peaches. Come over here. One example of how you can cook fruits is if you make a fruit pie. See this bake button? You're gonna wanna bake it, all right? So the peach cobbler that I just showed you in the first slide, you would bake it right in here. And some tips that I would recommend you use is if you're cutting fruit. Hold on, let's go over here and get the knife. Okay? So when you're dicing it, you don't want your finger on top. You want to hold it in a comfortable grip. Give them the claw grip, okay? Make it as safe as possible when you're cutting. That's just one tip. Another tip that I would use, make sure to refrigerate your fruits so that they don't go bad. And first, and my final tip, is if you have a fruit with stems in them, rip those bad boys off. All right, on to the next one. Yo, what's happening? Right here, we got our milk. This is gonna be the dairy section of this video. All right, so we're gonna start off with the tips and reminders. One big reminder with this is on all your milk products, they're gonna have an expiration date, all right? You wanna keep it refrigerated, and this is the date before it's either sold by or it's good by, okay? So that's a big reminder. And another tip with your dairy is, with your cheese, make sure to seal that bad boy up, all right? Because your cheese could go moldy, and it'd be nasty and not good, okay? Final little tip with when you're cooking with dairy is make sure to add some other friendly ingredients with it, or else it's not gonna make such a good mixture, all right? Move over here on the stove. One little recipe I got for you is the broccoli cheddar soup. So what you wanna do is you would simmer it. That's how you cook with dairy. You would simmer it right here on a pat with 1 tablespoon of cheddar cheese, 1.5 cups of milk, and 1 cup of cheddar cheese, and that's how you make perfect broccoli cheddar soup just for yourself.
Everything was going down. 50,000 people. Helicopter! Twin shit right here. Twin shit right here. You gotta know about it.
So right now we're gonna talk about grains. We're in the lunchroom. Perfect place to talk about it. So 3 tips and tricks with your grains are, when you have them, make sure you're sealing them. You know, it goes with a lot of things. I know it's kind of redundant, but make sure you're sealing them up so they don't get moldy and they last for a while. Again, if you want to be a little bit healthier, don't go with white bread, go with whole wheat, a wheat option. That's going to be more healthier for you. If you want to go for something that tastes a little bit better, go for your white bread, okay? Final little tip and trick is if you want your bread to rise, put it in the oven. So then we're going to go over here. One way you can cook your bread is with our little mac and cheese recipe. You know how we cook the mac and cheese, put the little breadcrumbs on top, and we broiled it in the oven. Signing off. Today we're here with Mr. Wood, and he's going to show us one recipe that he has that he uses protein with.
Easiest way to get protein is protein powder. Most easy way is to throw it in some water, make a shake, but occasionally you want to switch it up, throw it in some pudding depending on the flavor. You could have vanilla powder, and your options are greater of what you can add to it.
Love it. Thank you. Wow. Thanks, Mr. Wood, for that. Very informational. So we're going to go over some tips and tricks for what you can do to help with your protein. So most protein comes with either red meats or poultry, and with those, sometimes you leave them in the freezer. So when you let them thaw, you don't want to leave them out for more than 2 hours, or else they can get nasty and go bad. All right. Another thing with keeping your red meats and poultry is you want to keep them refrigerated. If you keep them refrigerated, don't keep them for too long. If you keep them frozen, you can keep them for longer. But again, when you thaw them, make sure to use that rule, okay? Final little tip is red meats. They might taste a little better, but they're not as good for you because you get heart disease with it. And another downside with poultry is like salmonella and whatnot, and eggs. So make sure you cook your eggs, make sure you cook your chicken fully so you don't get a disease.